So what's the benefit of knowing your farmer? What are the benefits of knowing where your food is raised, how it was raised, that it was moved to fresh grass every day and allowed to eat and forage, even though it's in a structure, a mobile structure to protect it from the elements, aerial and ground predation, it's still allowed on natural grass and fed a good, clean, premium feed diet. Doesn't fit the organic narrative, doesn't fit the free range narrative, and yeah, you could probably call it pasture chicken, but you got it confined. And it's only confined for its own protection from predation. Because if I don't, then I'm feeding wildlife. And there's a lot of daggone work that goes in these things for me to be feeding a bunch of daggone foxes and coyotes and hogs. So I'm not doing that. I will take the extra precaution to protect our investment. That's the smart thing to do. You can't just throw caution to the wind and think that nature's going to say, okay, they're raising chickens, that's not for us, leave them alone. In a perfect world, you know. So I bring this up because we processed 67 chickens this past Saturday. Shared all that on social media, shared it on the YouTube channel, and got a lot of interest. A lot of folks reaching out. Hey, you selling any of those chickens? How much you want for a chicken? I don't want a whole chicken. Can you cut me up some breasts? Can you give me some leg quarters? Can you do this? Can you do that? Ooh, that sun's bright, especially glaring off a bald head. So I told the wife, I said, you know, we've been talking about starting this business anyway, so let's go ahead and do it. That way we don't get ourselves in trouble. Now, I don't have to file a business. Don't have to have a business license to do what I'm doing. But I'm also going to take advantage of the protections that an LLC does give you. So we formed a business today, and the business name, the channel, the YouTube channel here, the Hills and Hollers Homestead, will change in the very near future to match the business. And that is going to be Patriot Ridge Farm. And we are selling chickens now. So all the paperwork's in. I've made the payment for the business license, and I've got some paperwork that I need to just mail into the Department of Agriculture. But we are selling chickens, and I started looking at the simple average cost according to the USDA. And I think what we were seeing for direct to consumer, direct from the farmer to the consumer, I think the simple average was $6.29 a pound, if I remember. And that was just for the month of May. The one for June's not out yet. So the simple average was, say, like $6.29 a pound. And I'm not going to sell a chicken for $6.29. I will sell a chicken for $6.29 a pound if you want to pay $6.29 a pound, and the demand's there. But we don't live in an area where I think a lot of people would say, sure, I'll pay $30 for a chicken. You know, maybe north of here, maybe way farther south of here. But I'm just not going to do that, because I think everybody should have access to, everybody should have, not that you should have a right to, or you should demand to. Well, you should demand to it. I mean, you should have access to healthy, local, humanely raised and processed foods. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to give it away just because you think you deserve it. We see a lot of that, don't we? So we sat down and we discussed, we figured up, and I did a cost breakdown a few videos ago about, where we're at with these chickens, cost wise, and that's including the cost of the chicken, the shipping to us, and the cost of the feed and everything like that over 8 weeks. And I think we just came in right under $12 a chicken, if I remember right. And that was including the cost of the chicken and cost of the feed over 8 weeks and stuff like that. So with this last batch that we just did, we had an average weight of 5.5 pounds. And I think we had as light as 3.8 pounds and as heavy as 6.8 pounds. Because you get some of them that just don't grow. Or they'll start to grow and they just stop. And then you get some of them that won't stop growing. So a fair price, I think, at that point, with the cost of the feed and everything. And I don't even factor it. Excuse me. I don't even factor in the labor. I really don't. We have the cost in the fence. That fence right there, 100 foot of fence with a solar charger, is $500 from Premier One. You can look it up online if you want to. It is $500. And I don't figure that in. I didn't factor in the cost of the chicken tractors and everything like that because we built those 2 years ago. And rightly so. And I didn't figure in the cost of buying this thing, you know, my time or nothing like that. I'm not figuring all that in. I'm not going to, because I think we all should work together. So I looked at, again, the simple average, and I said no. And finding out that there are people around here who are selling chicken for $5+ a pound and up, even in like in northern part of the state, they're selling it for $10 a pound and can't stay in stock of it. I'm not going to do that because I think people should be able to afford it. And so we set our price at $4 a pound. Now you can go to any of your local grocery stores and look at like your organic or your pasture raised or your free range chickens and stuff like that. And you're going to see what the cost is. You're probably looking at about $3.49 a pound or something along those lines. I don't know. I haven't looked at a commercial chicken for the last 2 years at least. So I don't know what the going rate is on those, but I do know that we are well below, more than $2 a pound under the USDA simple average of direct to consumer from the farm. And I'm going to stick it with that for now. And I'm going to stay with that as long as I can because that covers our costs and gives us a little profit. And when I mean a little profit, I mean a little profit. And, you know, I'm not doing this to make ends meet. I'm doing this as something that we enjoy doing. It gets my kids started in something, and it provides a product that very few people are doing anymore, especially around here. You know, up until 1946, there was no grocery stores. So everybody raised chickens, or most people raised chickens and shared chickens with neighbors and raised, you know, shared their eggs, sold their eggs and stuff like that. And they went to the butcher to get their meat if they couldn't raise it. The butcher also had partnerships or agreements with local farmers who were raising the cows and the pigs and the chickens and stuff. So, you know, it was more regionally or even community based. I mean, just in a very short area or very small radius of where people lived is where all their food come from. And that's obviously completely changed. So I think we need to really get back to that. We have the cheapest food in the world, but we also have the most expensive health care. And, you know, they want to push a pharmaceutical rather than sitting down and saying, look, the food you're eating is shit. That's why you're sick. That's why you're overweight. That's why the vessels and the arteries in your legs and feet are plugged up. That's why your kidneys don't work anymore. That's why you have heart disease. That's why you have high blood pressure. That's why you've had a stroke. You know, that's why you have all of these problems, is because the food that you're eating is shit. And there's just no easier way to put that. I mean, I can say crap, but you get the point here. You know what I mean? And it's being pushed and pushed and pushed more and more and more, and everything is more highly processed. And the amount of food that we have in America that is banned in European and other countries is just ridiculous. That ought to tell you something. So, you know, we have to get away from that. We have to make that connection back to our community, back to our local farmers. And again, know your farmer, know your food. Ta-da! You know, there's your food. Nice quiet country setting. Beautiful views, nice little breeze, beautiful green pasture, chickens protected from elements, aerial and ground predation, fed a good diet of a good quality food, allowed to peck, scratch, and forage in the confines of those mobile chicken coops. And that is only because for their own safety. They are humanely dispatched right here. They're raised here. They're fed here, they're processed here, they're packaged and frozen here. And that daggone son's about to kick my butt. So, you know, at what point do you walk into the superfood mart and say, I don't know where this food comes from. I don't know whose hands have touched it. I don't know what it's been fed. I don't think that chicken's ever seen green grass. And you don't know that, because if you look at the definitions and the criteria to meet the labeling for free range, pasture raised, organic, you would probably kick yourself in your own butt if you find out what those requirements are, because it's not what you think it is. And you're not going to see these companies out there showing you acres upon acres of meadows with a bunch of chicken tractors in it, saying, hey, look, this is how we raise our chickens. This is our pasture raised chickens. We do this for predation control, or we've got guardian livestock dogs. Hey, my idea is, and as soon as I can get because they sell out just as soon as they get the eggs. They start selling out. Is I want guardian goose. I want a couple guardian geese to put out here, and that way I can just leave those doors open through the day. Let that guardian goose be their protection to keep them protected from aerial predation, because these chickens don't move that fast, and a goose would help protect them from hawks. But I would like to, more than anything, have them out of those chicken tractors through the day and let them peck and scratch and wander like they need to. Of course, still within the confines of the electric netting. And you may see something coming up on that soon. But I definitely have to have a guardian goose before I do that, because I know we've got some pretty ruthless and relentless predators around here. But anyways, the reason I'm just kind of rambling about this is neighbor called me a while ago. He said, hey, he said they got a milk cow, and they had to get A2 certified milk cow, because their kids that's the only kind of milk they can drink. And he said, our cow's putting out 8 gallons a day, or like 4.5 gallons in the morning, 4.5 gallons in the evening. And we've got way more milk than we need. Do you want some of it for your pigs? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'll give it to my pigs, but hey man, I said, if you got some that's still consumable for us. He said, oh, you said, I got more than you want. And I was like, oh no, you don't. I said, I'll tell you what, we just processed chicken Saturday. I said, I'll bring you down 3 chickens. How's that sound? He said, that's more than enough. And I got down there, and I mean, he had a cooler full of milk, and it was just, I watched him pouring it out of the bucket. He just finished milking a cow, and he said, here's 8 gallons that you can consume. He said, this is from yesterday and today. Here's 8 gallons. 8 gallons. And he said, the rest of this, I think there was 14 gallons that went to the pigs. And he said, we're not going through near the amount of milk. He said, but I'm not getting rid of my cow. He said, so this will get you. He said, those chickens, he said, they're well worth, he said, at least 3 or 4 runs of milk for you. So he said, you probably got about 16 more gallons coming to you before I want anything else for them. And he said, I really don't want anything for them. But he said, but you want to give me them chickens for trade? He said, I'll take them chickens. That's the kind of system we really need to be back on. We should be really working together as a community. We don't need a bureaucrat knocking on our door every time I want to trade a chicken. I don't need a bureaucrat knocking on my door every time I want to sell a dozen eggs to a friend, or to even take it as a food donation per se, if I have to go that route. But there's too much overregulation. There's too much red tape. We're the only species that pays to live on this planet, and we're the only species that has to be told what to eat. Now, where did we go wrong? Somewhere along the way, we went really way wrong. And what does it cost us? Epidemic levels of type 2 diabetes, massive obesity rates, now obesity rates just skyrocketing in preschool children. Over 40 million people with type 2 diabetes as children are getting now what was considered an adult onset illness, and now children are getting it because it's a lifestyle illness. It's time to get back to the pre-grocery store era. Know your farmer, know your food. Make those contacts, make those connections. Go to your farmers markets. Get out there. Driving down the road, you see a pasture with cows in it. Stop and ask that farmer. Say, hey, my name is so-and-so. Sorry to bother you. I don't mean to impose upon you. But I would love nothing more than to be able to have access to local pasture-raised, beef or chickens or eggs or anything like that. Do you sell any of it? Do you know anybody who does that? People are going to appreciate that more than what you think. If somebody stopped and asked me that, I would not feel that as somebody imposing upon me or somebody trespassing on me, because you know what? You're making an honest effort to get a better source of food, a better quality food, a more healthier food for yourself and your family. You're not out there maliciously trying to get something for free, and you have honest intentions. So, reach out, get to those farmers markets, talk to those people, introduce yourself, get on a first name basis with them. You don't have to be their buddy. You don't have to kiss their butt, to try to get freebies and 10% off or anything like that. But, you gotta have better food. We got to do better. We need to work better as a community, and we need to pretty much tell the system where they can stick it, because we don't need their permission to trade, to eat, to buy the type of foods that we think are better for us than what they're providing for us. So I've already decided quite a while back that I'm done being told what to eat and what I can, what I cannot eat, and I'm tired of the limitations of what I'm offered to buy for my family, quality wise and healthy wise, in a grocery store. So we're doing it on our own. All right, so I'm not going to continue to harp on this, but what I am going to tell you is that yes, folks, the channel name is about to change very soon. It will be Patriot Ridge Farm. We are a business. I've paid for the license. I haven't actually received the license yet. We will be selling pasture-raised poultry, chickens that are raised and processed right here. You see the feed that I feed them. It's Kalmbach. It is wild game bird, or it's game bird feed is what I feed them. It's 18 to 20%. It was supposed to be 20%. This come out as 18%. That's fine. It doesn't matter. We got great size chickens out of it. But look up the Kalmbach brand. I've been told it's one of the better feeds out there. It's a good feed. It's a good reliable feed. It's a good consistent feed. And I've not seen it or had any problems with it at this point in time. So, you know, we're a business now. So we will be selling whole chickens. We will be selling bone-in, skin-on, split chicken breast, leg quarters. You know, and I'm not trying to plug my business out here, but I'm telling you, this is what we're doing. And we're going to set our prices at $4 a pound for a whole chicken. We're going to do $6 a pound for split breast, and we're going to do $5 a pound for leg quarters. All bone-in, skin-on. If you want to take the skin off of it, you do that stuff outside of my site, because I think ain't nothing better than good chicken skin. And you do with it what you want to when you buy it. That's how I feel about it. But I'm not going to eat that chicken if it ain't got skin on it. That's for daggone sure, because that's the best part of it. But anyways, look for the name change on the channel coming up. You know, share this video and this channel with folks. Let them know. You know, get this message out. Share the message of, you know your farmer, know your food. Get back to the local roots. Get back to the way things should have been or should be, and doing things the right way. Get out from underneath that bureaucrat's thumb that's telling us, you know, making us to choose between foods that are either going to kill us or make us sick, and continue to keep us sick. And just bad science. You know what I mean? It's just it's bad science because it's corrupt science is what it is. There ain't nothing out there that's good for you like that, and it comes in a box or anything pre-packaged and highly refined. It's just not good for you. So we'll be sharing this as we go along more. Again, like I said, these guys will go, I think mid-July is the date I got them set up for. And hopefully I can get a little bit more video on that one to show you a little bit more of the hands-on process as we go through it. And I'll have to tread lightly so we don't get banned off of YouTube for that. But thank you guys so far for the support. We're up to 942 subscribers, I think, at the last look. And I am humbled by that, and I do appreciate that. But please, you know, share our channel, share the message. You know, leave us a comment, tell us what you think, tell us what you guys are doing. I've had a couple other homestead and farm people reach out, and you know, on YouTube and everything like that. And I appreciate that support. That's a community that we really need to build and stand firm on. So I'll leave this one and tell you guys to get and stay prepared, stay free, and God bless y'all.